All right, folks, welcome to the Late Show. Good evening, WNBA and women's basketball fans, and welcome in to the WNBA 365 Network, your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home for everything revolving around the WNBA and the rest of the women's basketball universe. Back with you, folks, on a late night Wednesday edition of the program. Join the night, folks, two-man game tonight between Tanisha Stewart up in Los Angeles and Cal McClure joining you folks here from Studio 171 in San Diego on episode number 292 this evening. Shorty, good evening. And very good action tonight in the WNBA. Probably some medical bills will have to be paid for the LA Indiana game. Other than that, though, good action tonight. And how's it going tonight? Good to see you.
Hey, Callan, I'm doing great tonight. Just hopefully trying to get my pacemaker to continue to work after watching the Sparks Indiana game. I mean, my goodness, that was a thriller, but a great win.
Three really good games, folks, on the schedule. And by far, folks, the WNBA season thus far has not disappointed in great action. Of course, folks, Facebook and Twitter, live chat box, wide open for you folks with open arms. At this point, hit us up on Facebook over at facebook.com/WNBA365. You can actually find the show link to the page in the last program alert put out before the night show in the comment box there, or hit us up on Twitter at WNBA365, at Calimac3, or at ShortyMamba24. With the hashtag WNBA365. Or if you're viewing us live tonight on the program, if you're up late on the East Coast or still up here on the West Coast, wherever you may be joining us from, please hit up that live chat box. We'll take your comments, your questions or comments directed towards us when we have a minor or quick break in the action. Okay, Shorty, 3 games, 3 really close finishes tonight. First, the Liberty and Storm this evening. It was about to be tied up until Sue Bird inadvertently missed one of 2 free throws. The Liberty hang on to beat the Storm tonight from Madison Square Garden, and another in the first of 3 thrillers, 78-74 final box score for Seattle. Breanna Stewart, 24 points. Crystal Langhorne with 11. Kalena Mosqueda-Lewis, career high for her, 10 points tonight. Alicia Clark with 9. Ramu Tokashiki with 8. Sue Bird and Jewel Lloyd all with 6. Jenna O'Hay, Noah Quinn, stunt double Crystal Thomas all did not score tonight in limited time playing. Abby Bishop, Monica Wright, DNP's coach's decision. For the New York Liberty, Tina Charles and Tanisha Wright, both with 18 points each. Sugar Rogers with 14, Swin Cash with 8. Carolyn Swords and Shavante Zealous with 7 each. Amanda Zowie B with 4. And Kia Stokes with 2. Shoni Schimmel, Rebecca Allen, no points in 5. And or 6 minutes played. Brittany Boyd and Adut Bolak, DNPs tonight for the New York Liberty. The game played from the Garden, Madison Square Garden in New York, New York. Total attendance today, 9,852. Time of the game, 1 hour and 51 minutes. The officials tonight were Roy Goldbein, Kevin Sperrick, and Fatu Cisco Stevens tonight. No text in the game, and only one time the game was tied in the lead. Did not change hands in this game tonight. And Shorty, Seattle, I think, oh my goodness, we saw the Liberty, of course, up 60-49, but then they went cold a little bit in the game. And then Sue Bird has a chance to tie the game, Shorty, and a player that rarely misses free throws. 1 of 2 could have tied this game up, but instead settles for a made one, missed one in the game, and that gives the Liberty a 4-point win. So Shorty, starting with the Storm tonight again, Breanna Stewart balls out again, 24 points again in one of her either her first or second game back playing in front of her family and friends in her home city of New York. So Shorty, your thoughts about how Seattle again played in the game? They battled back from that big deficit, but again could have tied this game at the free throw line, but in the end they fall short.
Yeah, I mean, things were rolling for Seattle, especially, after the first quarter. They had, a slow start because they had just, played another basketball game the day before. But, in this game, like I said, they started off slow, but then they got the ball rolling, and, it was pretty much back and forth between them and the Liberty. And I think one of the things, that kept Seattle in this game was, the 3-point shooting. I mean, they went 10-24, shooting 41% from the 3-point line. So the threes definitely kept them in this game all the way to, the fourth quarter. And in those last final minutes, I just think mental mistakes happened with the Storm. I mean, you could point out that they're a young team, but the mental mistake actually happened to one of their best veterans on the floor, which was Sue Bird, like you said, going 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and basically the Liberty escaped, out of the game with a win.
We'll check in with our third man in tonight, Todd Mintz, our good man from Buena Park, California. The chat box saying he says, first of all, New York I thought was going to blow them out. They were up 60-49, but then they went cold. Long Seattle to hang around. Seattle, the first 15 minutes was as bad of first 15 minutes I've seen this season, but they got hot with the three ball to get back in it. Attendance tonight at the Garden was good, and it was legit. New York was fortunate that Wright made some timely baskets because they may have lost. Otherwise, Sue had a careless turnover as well late in the game in his mind. And again, Shorty, let's kind of go back into that situation again. The Liberty leading by 2 late in the game. Sue Bird at the line. In her only 2 free throw attempts of the game, goes 1 of 2. Could have tied this game, maybe even given Seattle the lead. And again, Shorty, that was really the game-changing play. Was that missed free throw? So Shorty, at this point, we always talk about how big free throws are, but in this case, Shorty, free throws bit the Storm in the backside tonight, sadly.
It really did. And like I said, when it comes to the free throw line, it's all about the mind, your mental state. And in that, particular scenario, I don't think Bird was too much, into it, within her mind at the free throw line. I mean, she made one, she missed one crucial one, and that pretty much, sealed their fate and ultimately led them to losing the game.
Yeah, indeed. And again, Shorty, as we go now to the Liberty side of the things tonight again, Shorty, I don't think that we have praised or said enough good things about Tina Charles this season. I mean, she has really been a dominant force. Really, almost, reminded me of Candace Parker in the first game, at least when they played Seattle with the 34-point game for Ace. Shorty, of how Tina Charles has really played like a woman possessed who's on a mission to really do something again, was also named for the 5th time this year Player of the Week for the Eastern Conference. So Shorty, I mean, TC is really, of course, obviously she's thrived well in New York, but obviously tonight, again, showing why she's not only won the award 5 times, for Player of the Week, but also why she is already getting votes for MVP. Shorty, thoughts about another big game from TC for the Liberty tonight?
I mean, yeah, she definitely had a great game. Now, she didn't have her normal double-double, but she had, 20 points, 6 rebounds, I think 4 steals. So she was still pretty much decent. But I think in this game, the slight difference was that, she didn't have to do everything. It was others stepping up. Just looking at the stats, 14 points from Sugar Rogers, and then 18 points from Tanisha Wright. So I think the much added help, helped them, seal the win. But still a great game from Tina Charles.
And Tanisha, I want to talk about TW as well again, because like we say, we were really questioning, really wondering who's going to be that 3rd or 4th player behind Charles and behind Rogers to really, kind of take the load off those 3. And tonight it was Tanisha Wright. Her final line, folks, by the way, in 29 minutes and 38 seconds played, 7 of 13 from the field, shot 53.8%, did not attempt or make any of her threes tonight, was 4 for 4 from the free throw line, was a +7 in efficiency tonight, 4 boards, 5 dimes, 2 fouls, and 18 points. So, Shorty, again, we really, were very skeptical or wondering again about who's going to be that player other than Rogers and Charles really to lead this team. It was right tonight. Shorty, thoughts about TW's overall game again, being that one player again that we've really wanted to wait, that we've really waited for to see someone take the load off TC and Sugar so far this season for NYL.
Yes, I mean, our other correspondent who's not in here tonight, Crystal, talked about, in multiple shows how others need to step up beyond Sugar and Tina. And yes, Tanisha Wright really did, step up, tonight just across the board, her stat line. And also Seattle pretty much didn't put a body on her. She just was hitting multiple mid-range jumpers back to back, and she couldn't really be stopped. For some reason, Seattle didn't have an answer for her in this game, but she really came up big.
She came up big in the clutch. Another quick comment from Tom Minchery, a question he's asking: what do we think about why Jenna O'Hay is not doing much these days with Seattle? Shorty, I know that she had some that she was overseas at the start of the season, but I agree though that she's kind of been MIA a little bit with the Seattle Storm again. We really, she was really that sixth-woman, seventh player off the bench with the Sparks with the Seattle and really thrive in the first couple years under Brian Agler. But then I'm not sure what really happened, though, as of this year. But I guess, Shorty, what is your thoughts, though, about Jenna O'Haye's kind of, sort of downward trajectory of her production off the bench for Seattle this season as opposed to previous seasons?
Yeah, I just think for this season, well, number one, she did come into the season late. She didn't, come into training camp, like other players. She came in like during the first couple of games played. So I think that's tiredness. I think might be one thing. Of course, she's not getting many minutes, but I just think her production is off because, like I said, she just came from playing in France straight to the WNBA, so she might be a little tired. And I think Jenny Busick, might be letting her rest a little bit, for the Rio Olympics, in the summer. So I think it's a combination of all those things as to why her production is falling off this season.
Yeah, no, Shorty, I agree. The overseas play with that overseas season, kind of overlapping the start of a WNBA season. And Todd also says Ramuto Kashiki has also been disappointing as well in his mind. And again, Shorty, but it's two players right there for the Storm that are going to be gone and going to be in Rio again with either the Japanese national team and then, of course, O'Haye more likely going to be with the Australian Opals. So again, Shorty, do you probably go with the overseas commitment or the Rio commitment as to why O'Haye and Tokashiki have struggled so much so far this season for Seattle?
Yes, most definitely. I think it's a combination of both. I mean, even though Takashi, was I think in training camp, if I'm not mistaken, but still just so much, too many games being played and pretty much knocked their production off.
So again, folks, Liberty win tonight over Seattle at the Garden 78-74. Sadly, came down to Sue Bird missing one of two free throws that could have tied the game late in the fourth quarter, but the Liberty hang on for the win 78-74. Mystics visit the Stars today, and the Stars, in spite of the news of the day of concerning Kayla McBride, got the dub tonight 77-70 over Washington. And folks, that big news again is Kayla McBride done for the remainder of the season with a fractured foot, suffered that injury in the Stars' previous game over a couple of days ago. The box score for Washington: Taylor Hill, 14 points. Emma Mieseman, Natasha Cloud, Kia Vaughn, all with 10 each. Stephanie Dolson with 9. Ivory Lotta and Bria Hartley all with 5. Tiana Hawkins with 4. Allie Mollett with 3 points in 8 minutes and 20 seconds played. TRP with no points in 22 minutes played. Also, Clea Copper, no points in 7 minutes played. Jamie Weisner, DNP, coach's decision. Monique Curry for the Stars, 20 points leading the way. Derica Hamby with 18. Mariah Jefferson with 16. Jana Pell Marinelli with 6. Alex Montgomery, Haley Peters with 5. Jasmine Gwathway into the game tonight with 3 points. Kayla Alexander and Sydney Colson all with 2. Blake Diedrich, Kayla McBride, Astu Nador, DNP tonight, and of course again McBride done for the year, fractured foot. Game played tonight from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. The attendance today, 3,701. The time of the game, 1 hour and 52 minutes. The officials today were Tom Maurer, Jeff Smith, Cheryl Flores. 8 times the lead change, 10 times the game was tied. So, Shorty, before we get into the game, of course, big news again. Once more, again, sadly, Shorty, again, Kayla McBride done for the season, fractured her foot in the last game that the Stars had played over the weekend. Shorty, big blow for a team, of course, that has struggled throughout the entire season, and now, Shorty, this gets added onto their plate. Shorty, your thoughts about how about Kayla's injury and also the effect it has on the Stars going forward for the remainder of this year?
I mean, yes, it was very sad news that was reported, and it's a big blow to San Antonio's offense because McBride was that spark for them, averaging 18 points a game. Now that's eliminated. Now they're going to need a combination of the rest of the roster to make up for those 18 points that were missing, that was coming from Kayla McBride.
Yeah, again, Shorty, just so, it's a really big A really big blow for the Stars. Tobbins even says McBride's loss is tough for all of us who enjoy watching her game and her personality. He also says very, very disappointing game for Washington. Looked like the version that started 0-4. Mieseman, no points in the second half. Lotta has one field goal. And also Shorty. The big stat, though, like I said, about as bad as when someone tries to buy a vowel on Wheel of Fortune, it comes up empty and loses $250 off their winnings. Yeah, that was Washington missing 10 of 11 shots towards the end that they could have either gotten back in the game or whatnot. So, Shorties, we begin with Washington again. Tough game for Mieseman this evening, at least in the second half. It really was MIA in the second half. Ari Lotta had one basket in the game tonight. Shorty, overall thoughts again on a very, very, pretty sloppy effort from the Mystics this evening in San Antonio.
Yeah, it was not such a good game for Washington. To be honest, really neither team played particularly well in this. It's just that the normal, culprits for Washington that usually come up big didn't. We talk about Mieseman only scoring 10 points, shooting 38% from the field. She's averaging, 57%, from the three-point line, only shot 25% from the arc in this game. So pretty much she was off. The whole team was off. And, it just wasn't, a very good game. I don't know if they were tired in this game or if it was due to, San Antonio's defense, because they are one of the better defensive teams in the league. But just the whole team was off.
Everything looked like it was off-key tonight. Then Shorty, going out to the Stars again. First game post Kayla McBride's injury. It's Mo Curry stepping up in a big situation, 20 points, 30 minutes played. And again, Derricka Hamby, Mariah Jefferson right back up there, 2 and 3, or somewhere in the top part of scoring. Hamby 18, Jefferson 16 tonight. And then again, it falls off from there. But again, Shorty, again, now that McBride's out for the season, at this point in time, Shorty, so you've already lost one puzzle piece from the big three of Hamby and Jefferson and McBride. So now, Shorty, how much more of the burden is going to be put on Mo, Jeff, and Hamby going forward for the remainder of the year now that McBride is done for the season?
The load on them is going to, be even heavier. So for the Stars, they're hoping that other players, step up. I mean, 3 players did score in double figures. Mo, 20 points, Hamby 18, and then Mo Jeff with 16. But you're going to need other names, such as Sydney Colson, Kayla Alexander, and Montgomery, to step up as well. Like I said, missing McBride's production for the rest of the season, 18 points a game. They're going to have to make up for that. So I'm not sure where they're going to get it, but the other names will need to step up.
So again, folks, Stars over the Mystics 77-70. The last game of the night, the Fever paid a visit to the big office in downtown L.A., the Staples Center, to face the number 1 team in the league, the L.A. Sparks, who are looking to go 17-1. Well, it got pretty sketchy, but the L.A. Sparks hang on. Thanks in part, have no fear. Candace Parker is here. L.A. wins the game 94-88 after withstanding a 39-27 fourth quarter from the Indiana Fever, who gave it a good effort, but ultimately too little too late for the Fever tonight. Tiffany Mitchell, 20 points, including the 3 that made it a 1-point game with 21 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. She drops 20. Orlando Larkins with 15. Tamika Catchings in her second-to-last game in Los Angeles with 14 points. Brianne January with 13. Erica Wheeler with 10. Devereux Peters with 8. Linda Kaiser with 6. And Marissa Coleman with 2. This evening, Shanice Johnson and Jeanette Poland, no points. Poland played a whopping 8 seconds tonight. And Coleman in Johnson playing 9 minutes and 13 seconds. Maggie Lucas and Natalia Chanwa DNPs. Of course, Lucas still out for the year with her torn ACL. For the LA Sparks, Nneka Ogwumike padding on to her MVP resume for the season so far, 23 points. Candace Parker, 20 points, including 3 blocks, including the game-saving and game-winning block late in the game for CP3. Christy Tolliver and Jantel Lavender, 15 each, including Lavender beating the buzzer after the third quarter had ended. Elena Beer with 10 points. Essence Carson with 8. And Chelsea Gray with 3 on Waters, no points in 1 minute played. Evgena Belikova Ana Dobovic, Jelena Dublovic, Whitney Knight, all DNPs tonight. Belikova still battling that broken finger. Dobovic, Dublovic, and Knight, that rhymes. Dobovic, Dublovic, and Knight, all DNPs. Coach decision. Game played from the big office, Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, California. Total attendance tonight, 8,224. Time of the game, 2 hours and 7 minutes. The officials tonight were Kurt Walker, Jeanette Graham, and Tony Dawkins. No text, and the game did not, and no times the lead changed, and no times the game was tied. But Shorty, I mean, that game, I'm telling you, probably one of the more exciting games that the Sparks have played. It was, of course, a 20-point lead, but Shorty will start with the game-saving play first. Of course, Candace Parker, 20 points, had 18, missed a couple free throws late in the game, but had the game-saving play, though, on the inbound play with a steal and able to dribble up, lay it up for the and one to put the game on ice. But again, Shorty, Nneka Ogwumike has got to either be 1B or 2 right now in MVP voting of how she is really, at this point, really carried LA on nights where Parker's had bad games or Tolliver's had bad games. Ogwumike has been by far the most consistent player on this LA club so far. But Shorty, your thoughts again about LA winning this game and going to 17-1, but again, a little bit sketchy there towards the end of the game.
Oh my goodness, I'm still trying to recover. That's how crazy the game was. I'm still trying to recover from all the madness that went down. I mean, LA started, very good, scoring the first 11 points. It was 11-0, in the first quarter. But then, Indy called the timeout and, they got things on the roll. But still, LA was just blowing them out, especially heading into the fourth quarter. At one point, it was 80-60. And oh my goodness, Indy. Now I expected a close game because I know that Indiana is definitely one of the great defensive teams in the league. Actually ranked, I think they're ranked 5th in defensive rating. So I knew that they're going to make it a tough game. I just didn't think how everything played out. I didn't think LA would blow a 20-point lead to, allow them back in the game. But they came back on, great rookie play. Erica Wheeler and Tiffany Mitchell, like I said, had a big night. Wheeler was 10 points, 7 assists. She definitely, helped them get back in the game. Mitchell, 20 points, including the clutch 3-pointer to make it a one, possession game. But, just Candace, what's up, Crystal? Just Candace came up big in the clutch with the big block of the night to ultimately seal the win for Los Angeles.
And right now, folks, joining us from downtown Los Angeles outside Staples Center at LA Live is no one better than Crystal Thomas joining us from downtown LA. All right, Crystal, you're at the game. I mean, I'm telling you, it looked pretty good. LA put it in cruise control and neutral, started going downhill, and then it's all about Indiana in this game again. 39-point fourth quarter, winning the game. But Crystal, with you being at the game, how about your overall thoughts from host eye view in your case for seeing LA coming back again, letting this one get away, but again, a couple big plays, including a block and an and one to seal their 17th win in 18 tries?
Well, first, can y'all hear me?
Good.
You guys hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. It was pretty interesting to watch. As you can see, I'm still outside of here trying to walk to my vehicle, but it was a pretty cool game. It was an interesting game. I mean, they almost gave me a heart attack towards the end. You can't let a team like Indiana, who likes to fight, pretty much get in the game, and that's what LA did. But they got the win, and that's ultimately what counts.
And Crystal, I guess, take us back, though, to the Parker block, steal, and one. Obviously, it's a big situation there. It's a 3-point game, and Parker is able to, get that, block that shot from Mitchell, get the steal, get the and one at basically the final buzzer to put the game on ice. Crystal, in your mind, as you see that play develop, I guess, what's going through your mind, or I guess overall thoughts on that play again that saved LA's bacon for the night and again brought home their 17th win of the season in 18 tries?
I mean, you guys know how I feel about defense, and that was some amazing defense right there. And I didn't get up and scream today. I was pretty civilized. I was pretty classy today. I was a classy cheerer because, I didn't really have energy. But it was watching that play unfold was amazing. I mean, I actually wasn't really nervous. I kind of figured something either Indiana was going to miss or LA was going to come with a big defensive stop. And what do you know, LA comes with a big defensive stop.
That area behind you looks a little familiar. I'll save it for Sunday, though, when we're back here on WNBA one-on-one. Yeah, I won't go too far in depth. I'll just save it for Sunday. But again, Shorty, now as we go now to Indiana, I mean, you know, at this point in time, you know, I mean, that's for Indiana, it's too little, too late. But Shorty, I give them all sorts of credit though for them not giving up in the fourth quarter. Again, they almost put up 40 points in the fourth quarter. Tiffany Mitchell, for a rookie, talk about stepping up your game. I mean, again, 20 points, including that three-pointer. But again, Shorty, it's just too little, too late for Indiana tonight. But I guess your final thoughts though about the fourth quarter more than Indiana's first three quarters play, because again, they really put it together in the fourth quarter. But again, too little, too late though for Indy this evening.
I mean, yes, even though it almost wasn't too little too late, they almost, could have sealed the victory. But, yes, like I said, the rookies, 4 of them came back, Tamika Catchings as well, did some pretty good things. I think she ended up with 14 points, but still, in that fourth quarter, they went on a 25-9 run and eventually scored, 39 points in that quarter. So, I mean, they came back, and I wasn't surprised. I just didn't think, like I said, LA would take their foot off the gas, but much props to them. When it was 80-60 in the fourth quarter, they could have just gave up. They could have packed up and said, okay, on to the next one, but they were willing to, toughen it out and fight to the finish, and that's what they did, and I have, a whole lot of respect for the Indiana Fever.
Todd Mintz says, though, he says, I was never concerned. This LA team is tougher than ever before. Indy was never going to win. He didn't believe it, even when the game was that close. And again, Crystal, that is a lost art, though, in sports at any level is at this point is, the lost art of it being, the score gets out of control and the other team, says, oh, poor us, we're getting killed. But Indiana, though, said, hey, let's try and chip away here. And they chipped away, like, Shorty said, again, shaving that lead down to 1 point. Again, 39-point fourth quarter. But again, like I said earlier, again, KT, too little, too late for the Fever tonight. But again, Crystal, seeing that fourth quarter unfold, I guess, what are your thoughts about Indiana's, never say die attitude?
Well, first, I didn't mean to interrupt by saying hi. I was saying hi to EC. I just saw EC. Second, like I said, you can't let a team like that just come back. I mean, a team like Indiana who will never say die, they're obviously going to come back and destroy you. I mean, that's a team led by Tamika Catchings, who's a legend, who's a great player in her own right. So you got to be careful when you play a team like that and try to lollygag.
Now, Crystal, we'll stay with you real quick. Now, folks, a quick clarification. I know that this was going around, but again, this is actually not Tamika Catchings' last game in Los Angeles. They'll play again in late September or early September on September 4th at 4 o'clock. But however, though, tonight was the designated Legacy Tour game for Catch, as she, of course, is going around at every game she plays on the road this year as a way, though, to kind of, say thank you to the fans that have supported her either in college or even now at this point in time. And Todd says KT must have been getting photos and autographs for the last 45 minutes, probably so. Crystal, but again, Crystal, of course, fans were able to purchase a special ticket for $24. You got to go to the exclusive Nike Ball Club
right
at
here.
Staples
I'll show you guys. I'll actually show you guys right now. This is exclusive because I'm still here. You ready? Watch. I'm about to show y'all. We're gonna show you the little shindig they're throwing for Tamika Catchings right here. They got players in there. Tiffany Mitchell's in there. Ebony Hoffman, all of them. AB, a lot of people. There you guys go.
So, Crystal, I don't know. We don't know if you actually went to this. It sounded like you had either gone there or you may have gone and seen somebody I know at the lounge. But, Crystal, I guess, as you kind of think about this again, $24 got you into the, the exclusive club there at Staples Center. And, again, there's silent auctions. You got a chance to have photos and autographs from Catching here, speak about her personal story. I guess, Crystal, if you had gone to this, I guess, obviously, first of all, good job done by the Sparks and by Catching her Foundation to put this event on at every away game that she does. But, Crystal, I guess overall thoughts, so again, about, either going to this event and, again, hearing from, a WNBA and women's basketball pioneer and legend in Tamika Catchings this evening.
Sorry to break it to you guys. I was not that cool. I didn't go in. I did go into the lounge, but I didn't go to there. But, I mean, to see all those people that's in there, Ebony Hoffman, Elena Beard, just all those stars in there just showing a legend so much respect. I mean, it's awesome. It lets you know how much Tamika Catchings meant to the WNBA and how much her legacy will still live on, and always forever be on. But I mean, it's a pretty cool experience. I mean, it's sad to see her go, but a new age of basketball is approaching.
And Shorty, like we said, Catch has donated about $2,000 to every team that she has played against so far on the road. She did in Minnesota. She's probably going to do it tonight in Los Angeles. But again, Shorty, we kind of saw this, of course, with Kobe Bryant on the NBA side, of course, with his little farewell tour across the NBA for the last half of that season, of course. But I guess, Shorty, overall thoughts about seeing Tamika Catch again, going out of her way with her foundation, of course, and again, going out of her way again to let the fans come in, hear some stories, get photos, autographs, auctions going on again at one away game, of course, in every city this year.
I definitely think, it's great on Tamika Catchin's part. And, when she came up, with her legacy tour, she wanted to, come up with her foundation, Catch the Stars, to, donate to the organization and things like that, because, that's just, the kind of person she is. She loves giving back, and she's definitely, giving back in a big way, with the Legacy Tour, and she will definitely be missed by all, WNBA players and fans alike, but she'll definitely, do good in the long run, especially after, she's out of the league.
Now, again, folks, due to the new schedule format, this was not Catch's last game in Los Angeles again. I already brought this up, but Todd Mintz reaffirming me, but I already knew about this. But again, Indiana will come back to Staples Center for those of you that did not get the chance to see the game today in person. September 4th at 4 o'clock, LA will play Catch in the Fever one last time before she will before the season does end. So again, the Fever will be coming back to LA again. That will be on September 4th. Todd says he says hopefully there'll be some type of minor ceremony at least before tip-off when they do come back to play in September. But again, the 3 games across the scoreboard tonight, folks. Again, Storm and Liberty. It is New York 78, Seattle 74, San Antonio 77, Washington 70, and the Sparks survive Indiana 94-88. A final score there this evening. And guys, real quick, another story in women's basketball, of course, broke a couple days ago, but of course, Shorty officially done. Cheryl Swoops done and fired from Loyola University, of course, with that ongoing player allegation investigation going on. Shorty, it's tough to see a legend like Cheryl Swoops, who's meant a lot to the women's basketball game, go down in flames. But also, I will, of course, reaffirm, though, that sometimes former players don't make the best coaches at any level, whether it's pros or college. So, Shorty, now that we finally, now this finally is done and over with, I guess your final thoughts about hearing about Cheryl Swoops again being released and let go from Loyola University.
I mean, I knew it was coming. I mean, definitely after all of the allegations that came out, I knew that she wasn't going to be there beyond, this season. And, like you brought up, not every, talented player makes a good coach. And I think it was true of this scenario. I mean, like I said, I'm not sure if I'll bring up, the allegations by multiple players, but it's just the thing. I mean, they tried to paint the picture of, her kids being spoiled and entitled and things like that. But I'm sorry, if you have 10 out of 12 players transfer from the program, plus 6, former assistant coaches who transfer out of the program under Swoop's tenure, well, then it's just more than spoiled and entitled kids. I mean, she really dropped the ball, within, the program. So, like I said, I saw it coming, and it made sense for them to relieve her of her duties.
And again, Chris, I think it's pretty alarming, though, when, all but 2 players on the roster, again, leave the program amidst the rumors and the allegations, again, put forth. But again, Chris, like I said, though, 9 times out of 10, sometimes the legends of their sport don't normally turn out to be very good coaches in the long run. So I guess, Crystal, again, the assistant coach problems, the 10 players transferring or winning out of their scholarships. I guess, Crystal, overall thoughts again about, again, this report, again, Cheryl Swoops fired from Loyola University.
You know what? Like Shorty said, it's hard with these cases. I hope you guys can still see me. I'm kind of just like, it got really dark. But Like Shorty said, most of these cases, sometimes you don't know if it's kids just being really soft or if the coach really is doing something. But in this case, I mean, if 10 people transfer, it has to be the coach. It sucks to see a legend go out the way she did, but I mean, I feel something probably did happen if 10 people truly left. I mean, it's just a sad sight to see. I mean, hopefully, I think it's going to be hard for her to get another coaching job, but hopefully something does happen for her.
Crystal Thomas, folks, joining us from the Star Plaza entryway at Staples Center. There's a few people I know that have statues out there. I know one very good person. He's sitting at a television and radio broadcast booth somewhere nearby where Crystal is standing at the Star Plaza entryway. But again, folks, revisit the scoreboard from the night at least. Liberty 78, Storm 74, Stars 77, Mystics 70, Los Angeles survives Indiana 94. 288. With that, folks, we do have only one game on your WNBA schedule for Thursday night. Only one game tomorrow. It's at 4 o'clock at Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. Lynx and Sun from Mohegan Sun. The game can be seen only on WNBA League Pass tomorrow night. So, Shorty, the Lynx get back on track against a getting back on track with a couple of wins, getting themselves back into the mix. Sun, of course, still scuffling. Shorty, preview, thoughts, and prediction for the game. What do you got?
Lynx all the way.
Simple as that. Crystal, how about you?
Well, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Lynx and Sun, who you got?
Oh, definitely the sausage links.
Yeah, give me Los Lynx as well. I mean, at this point, guys, with what we've seen from the Sun so far, it's been a very rough learning curve.
Good game, CP.
And it's not going to be easy. Someone I know very well as well. It's not going to be easy, guys, playing, of course, the defending champs when they come in again. So Lynx and Sun, 4 o'clock tomorrow here on WNBA League Pass. And by the way, Todd says to Crystal, you need to find you need to rent a house near Staples so she can since you go there all the time. And Eric Nimchok says Mecca MVP, simple as that. Todd also says Minnesota looks like old self again, blowout city in that game. And Todd says to Eric, he says he agrees. I said that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. With that, though, folks, we thank you folks for joining us here tonight on this edition of the WNBA 365 Network. But with that, though, Shorty, how about your final thoughts on tonight's action? Again, 3 really good games, and the Sparks go to 17-1 on the season. What do you got?
Definitely, it was great action all around, but it's just that last game, Sparks versus Fever. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna need a life alert after this broadcast is over.
And now, Crystal, how about your final thoughts on the action tonight in front of Mr. Magic Johnson's statue?
It was magical, pretty much. That's all I can say. It was a really good game. I'm just happy it ended the way it did, and the stars are coming out tonight. Is all I'm going to say.
Apparently, we've heard unconfirmed reports from Crystal. We've seen Essence Carson and somebody you will hear me ramble about for an hour on Sunday on a special edition of WNBA One-on-One. A full house of aces coming your way on Sunday at 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern. With that, though, folks, for Tanisha Stewart in Los Angeles from her home base, and for our good pal, Crystal Thomas, outside of the sports and entertainment center of the world from Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, this is Cal McClure joining you folks, as always, from home base here at Studio 171 in San Diego. Until mañana, have a safe night, drive home safely. Thanks for stopping by and joining us, folks, and good night. This has been the WNBA 365 Network for KT, Shorty, and Callan. See you folks tomorrow. Good night, and bye-bye.